Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today's project is this pretty little box bag, whichever way you, however you describe it, that I've used to pretty up some little hand creams. And there's a little catch there, a little bit of Velcro, and then the little hand cream tube goes inside. So the first thing to do is to choose your paper. Now, I like to choose a paper that goes roughly with the coloration of the item that I'm making the box for. This one is coconut, and the other one I did was cherry blossom, I think. So I turned to this paper pack, which is called the Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper. And it's got pretty designs, floral designs on one side, and then more sort of monochromatic on the other. So this was the one I used for the cherry blossom, and then I'm going to be using this one to pick out the blues in this tube. So we start with a 6 by 6 inch square. And I've scored this at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 4 1/2, and 5 1/2. Now you need to watch out if your paper has a direction, which means that, you know, it's got flowers or something that just go in one direction. When you turn it round to put this score line in, which is 1 inch here, you need to make sure that because this is the bottom of your bag, that your design is going in the right direction. So that's what I've done there. And I've done a little bit of, I've done the scoring and the folding just to save a bit of time on this video. So I'm going to start by putting in my score lines because they're easier to see. Once they're in, and then with some paper snips, I'm going to be doing some trimming. Now, can you just see this square here? There's the 2 score lines. I'm going to get rid of that bit. I don't need that bit at all. So I'm going to put a little angle there and there. This is the bit that's actually going to tuck inside the box. And I'm going to take a tiny little piece off the very top here, just to makes it easier when you come to line everything up. And then on each of the 4 score lines, I'm going to take them up to the 1 inch score line there. So now I've got the 2 bottom pieces and the tabs. And so on the tabs, I am just going to take a small little sliver off the side just to, again, it makes it easier. So here you've got your tabs and there's those little notches, just makes it easier to put the box together. Now I'm going to cut an aperture, and I'm using this set of rectangle stitched framelits, and I'm using the smallest one from this set, and I'm going to make sure that I put it on the right side. So your join is going to go to the back. Okay, so this is going to be the back and this is going to be the front. So I'm going to place my die. So, and I'm going to use a little washi tape here just to hold everything in place so it doesn't shift when I come to cut this. So I just want to make sure we're going to put this about 1 inch from the bottom, and I'm just making sure that it's in the middle of my front panel there, and get it as flat as, or as level, straight, whatever, as I can. So again, just make sure that it's level like that. Okay, and it does help if you kind of fold it up so that you can just see where your edges are. So now we're going to bring in my cut and emboss machine, and for this one we're going to need the white base plate, number 1. We're going to need the adapter plate, number 2. That's just a little bit, put a little bit of extra thickness. And then we're going to need 2 of plate number 3. So you're going to need your base 1, and then you're going to pop your piece of paper in, and it's just wide enough. This is 6 inches wide, so it's perfect. It's just wide enough. And then we're going to pop a plate on top and just gently crank through. There we go. And now we can pop the machine away on the floor, and then check out what we've got underneath. I'm just going to try and gently peel away that washi tape. It should come off without damaging the paper, but you just need to just be a bit mindful. There we go. And there we've got our nice little aperture. Now I'm going to put a bit of window sheet in. So window sheet is plain acetate, like this, and you can, it comes in a packet, 2 sheets 12 by 12, and you can just cut it with your paper cutter without any trouble at all. And I don't know if you can just see, I'm going to put a glue dot on each corner of my piece of window sheet, like this, and I'm going to stick it to the inside of my little pouch or little bag. There we go. And this will just, I don't know, it just dresses it up a little bit more. Now the measurements for all of my all these pieces are going to be on my blog. So if you look below this video, you will see a link to my blog, which will take you directly there, and you'll be able to see the extra information. And it'll also take you to a link to my online store where you can go ahead and treat yourself to these goodies to make some for yourself. So as you can see, I've just used my bone folder to really firmly sort of smoosh those glue dots in. Right, so that's as far as I'm going to take that for a minute. Now we're going to do the little backing piece. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and it's basic white, and it measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/2, and I've scored it at 1 7/8 and 2, so it's not quite in half. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping on this one, and I'm using the strawberry set, which I had here a moment ago and it's disappeared, but never mind. And I'm using the Just For You, so I'm going to stamp that toward the top here, and I'm using the little strawberry flowers, and I'm just using Early Espresso ink, because I think that Early Espresso goes with everything, practically everything. There you go. So I've just got that little design on the back. So that's the sum total of my stamping. Now this little clasp fixture, is actually an idea I've borrowed from the Paper Pixie, and I'd like to thank her for sharing it with us. So I've got this this piece here, and I'm going to be using the Elegant Tag Punch. And this piece of cardstock, as you can see, is actually longer than the punch. But what I'm going to do is I am going to punch this decorative end on one end and this sort of plainer end on the other. So in order to slide this in, I'm going to use this piece of paper. It just helps you guide the card in. So the end here, I'm going to put in the plain end, and I'm just going to place it down in and slide it in, hold it in place, and you can see it's gone into the little groove. And I'm just going to push it in just as far as the edge of my cardstock. So that gives me that piece there. And then I'm going to do the front piece. So again, I'm pushing my piece of paper in, and I'm going to pop that in. And I'm just going to put it in as far as the card disappears inside the punch, okay? And I'm just going to hold it in place. So this piece of card is 1 3/4 inches wide, which is the width of the actual punch. But I will warn you, you need to make sure that you do a scant 1 3/4, just literally a hair under the 1 3/4, and then it will slide into the punch easily like I just showed you. So then I'm just going to put in my 2 creases. These are real close together, so you might just need like to use your thumb just to put the piece in like that. So the finished size of this box is actually 5 inches, which is perfect for the little item I'm putting in. Now this is going to go to the back. So I'm going to make sure, and it's easier to attach it while the box is flat. So a little bit of liquid, and then I'm just going to position it on what is going to be the back of the box, like that. And I am just lining it up so it's just a hair under the second score line. Can you just see that? There we go. And now I'm just going to push it firmly. So now we're just going to assemble the box. So I'm going to put some liquid adhesive. You can use the Stampin' Plus. You can use double-sided tape, but I like to use liquid. It's just my preference. Now if I lie that flat down there and bring this over, this cut edge should line up with that score line and this score line here. And there I have my box. I'm just going to press that a bit firmly down to make sure I've got good adherence. Yep, there we go. And then we're going to flip over, and the 2 side pieces are going to go in. And again, just a little thing. And I'm going to put the flap, which is to the back, down first. And make sure that everything is square on those sides. And then a little adhesive on what will be the front. And bring that over. Press it firmly. And then I'm going to pop that on my workbench and just pop it, really press it firmly, just to make sure all those pieces, that is firmly stuck down in there like that. Now for my little closure, I am using these tiny little Velcro spots. You can get them in places like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, wherever. And I just like to use a half on mine. And I'm going to just take the backing off of one side and I'm going to pop it up here like this. Press it really firmly, and then I'm going to squeeze the sides of the boxes. Just got my fingers in there. Squeeze the sides here like that, and put in some nice, just with your fingers, a nice firm crease. Then I'm going to take the backing off here, so it's exposed the other side, the other part of the glue, and just making sure it all lines up, and squeeze firmly. Now the first time you lift this off, you're going to want to take it real carefully so you don't rip it off the paper. So I'm just going to gently ease it off. There we go. And I'm going to put in my little tube, and then I'm going to close that down, and again just give it a firm press to make sure that Velcro's all in place. And then as a final flourish, we're going to put a rhinestone in the middle here, just down like that. So there we are. You can take something really plain and ordinary looking, and to really fancy it up and make it into quite a pretty gift. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this idea. I've certainly enjoyed sharing it with you. If you have enjoyed the video, perhaps you'll go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't already do so, please subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get notified every time I post a new video. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.